Yeah, just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, you can always rely on Jeanette Braun to prove you wrong. Because that is exactly what's happened here. Literally, just a couple hours after I uploaded my previous video talking about Jeanette Braun and the weird legal route she's been taken for something that really isn't that deep, just people who have reacted to her TikTok and added commentary, she's decided to take it to a whole new level. Instead of just sending cease and desist to people or filing copyright claims and whatnot, she has now decided to sue a bunch of people involved that we've spoke about recently. For defamation, by the way. She is genuinely trying to sue people for defamation who spoke about her in YouTube videos and voiced their opinions. And in fact, the reason why I was even made aware of this, and the reason why I have the document, is because Madcatster, a YouTuber that we spoke about quite a lot on this channel, also an attorney, actually DM'd me and told me about this and sent me the document. And I actually decided to ask Madcatster, because obviously he knows a lot more about this stuff than I do, like a crazy amount more. I said, what do you think her chances are of actually being able to prove defamation in this case? And in his opinion, he said that he thinks there's no chance. It's a frivolous lawsuit. And he actually spoke to me about the anti-slap laws in America, and he believes that this lawsuit was just being filed to intimidate the people that just decided to try and file it against. I believe he is making an in-depth video himself. In fact, by the time this video goes up, he might have made it. At the time of recording this, he hasn't. But either way, I'm going to leave his link in the description. When he does upload that video, I would highly recommend watching it because it will go into a lot more detail than I can possibly go into. But either way, let's actually take a look at the lawsuit. Like I said, Madcatster sent me this, but also now that I've looked at Jeanette Braun's TikTok account, she has since actually uploaded a video herself talking about the lawsuit and actually has a link in her bio to the lawsuit. Like, she's not hiding this. And in fact, I should actually correct something here, because I've only been mentioning Jeanette Braun so far, because that's the person we've been speaking about the most recently, right, with the crazy behavior she's been showing. But the plaintiffs in this case is Jeanette Braun, but also Lauren The Mortician. So Jeanette Braun and Lauren The Mortician are trying to sue Becca Day, the TikToker who spoke about this situation, Caffeinated Kitty, the person who had the wellness check called on him by Lauren The Mortician and Jeanette Braun individually, and also Lily Marston and Jessie Smiles from the Do We Know Them podcast. I will say it's an interesting choice to try and derail your whole career in just a few weeks, because Lauren The Mortician was quite respected on TikTok up until she decided to act like the way she's been acting. And she could have just took some accountability and apologized, or she could have just ignored it if she really didn't think she had done anything wrong at the beginning. But the fact she decided to act the way she has, with calling the wellness checks, the cease and desist, taking down people's videos, and now filing a defamation lawsuit, like, it doesn't make you look good, does it? And in fact, in my opinion, it makes you look a lot more guilty for the stuff you've been accused for. What is that thing? Is it the Streisand effect, where you try to silence people, but it actually brings more attention to the situation? The Streisand effect is an unintended consequence of attempts to hide, remove, or censor information, where the effort instead backfires by increasing awareness of that information. Yeah, this literally sums up the situation to a T. I don't know how Lauren can't see this, by the way. The fact that she's trying to silence people so much is definitely bringing more attention to the situation, but I mean, she's still going for it. Now, like I mentioned before, we're not going to go through the full lawsuit here because it's very long. Also, I don't have like a degree in this, right? I don't know exactly what I'm talking about with this situation. I would definitely recommend watching Madcatster's video. We are going to go through some key points right now, but I do just want to make it very clear that this video isn't a 100% accurate representation of the entire lawsuit, right? We're not going to go line by line. If you do want a 100% accurate representation of the lawsuit, I would highly recommend either checking out Madcatster's video or reading it yourself. So the lawsuit starts off by giving a bit of a background on all the people involved, saying what they do, and like the type of stuff they produce and whatnot, right? We all know that information by now, but then we get to the defamatory statements against plaintiff Lauren Propson, pKa Lauren The Mortician, by defendant Caffeinated Kitty. So it starts off by referencing the type of content that Lauren The Mortician posts, and it says that her content provides light-hearted educational videos that discuss death, which is a mad sentence, right? Light-hearted content that discusses death. Like, yes, she does this type of content, but that's got really nothing to do with this situation at all. In fact, this all started with car seats for babies, which is mad, right? It's kind of like the Blair situation, where it started with some like editing effects that she thought were copied and it just been blown out of proportion due to her actions. The exact same thing goes with Lauren The Mortician here, in my opinion. The next part goes on to say that Caffeinated Kitty uploaded a video calling Lauren The Mortician transphobic and a TERF. And in the lawsuit, it says it's because she liked posts by a conservative social media personality who's in a gay relationship. Now, of course, this whole is in a gay relationship excuse is kind of the excuse that she used in her video in the first place, Lauren The Mortician's video. She said the guy was gay, so he couldn't be transphobic, which of course doesn't really make much sense. He definitely could be transphobic regardless if he's gay or not. But in Caffeinated Kitty's video, she shows the posts on screen that Lauren The Mortician has liked, and then she tells her opinions on Lauren The Mortician because of that. Regardless if you agree with Caffeinated Kitty's opinions there, can you be sued for that? I mean, not a lawyer, so I don't know 100%, but that seems a bit bizarre to me. To me, it seems like she voiced her opinions on Lauren the Mortician based on the stuff that Lauren the Mortician was liking on social media, which I don't think you can be sued for. But again, don't take that for 100% fact. Not an attorney. Then this next paragraph, in my opinion, is very manipulative, okay? It goes on to say that, in explaining her reasoning for her accusations, defendant Caffeinated Kitty stated that she was not accused of Miss Propson of being transphobic because Miss Propson has a larger fan base and following, but because people were confusing Miss Propson's Lauren the Mortician persona with defendant's Caffeinated Kitty's persona. Which again, seems very dishonest to me. That makes it seem as if Caffeinated Kitty went online and went, oh, I'm only going to call her these things because people are confusing the two of us. Which just simply isn't the case. She voiced a reasoning for her opinions, right? It's because of the post that she was liking on social media, but then also mentioned the fact that people were confusing the two. Two very separate points in the video, but it seems like they're trying to blend it into one, which again is very dishonest in my opinion. But because of these accusations, the lawsuit states that the impact of these allegations caused Miss Propson immediate and irreparable harm to her reputation. Specifically, Miss Propson lost numerous followers, should be a comma there, her contract with a famous and popular documentary channel, and a podcast deal that was in negotiations. Now, this might be a hot take, but has it ever crossed your mind that maybe it's because of Lauren's actions that she lost these things? No? Because at the end of the day, Caffeinated Kitty put the post on screen for people to read. If people didn't have a problem with the post and they were just kind of like normal posts of like a dog looking all cute and it wasn't anything controversial or anything like that, nothing probably would have happened here, right? So maybe it's something to do with Lauren's actions. Just a take. This next part in the lawsuit, it seems like Jeanette Braun is just bragging about the fact that she filed a DMCA complaint to Facebook, and it ended up actually not only getting the video removed, but Caffeinated Kitty couldn't even access her Facebook anymore. It's a very strange flex, but with Jeanette, not very surprising. And this is where we get to the reasonings of the wellness check, right? And it says, on or around November 4th, 2023 to November 5th, 2023, basically one day, in TikTok story posts following Meta locking defendant Casey's account, defendant Casey posted various videos where she appeared irrational and engaging in erratic behavior, such as threatening people online through various social media platforms. The plaintiffs were concerned about defendant Casey's mental health and safety. I mean, what a load of shite. We've heard the police calls now, you can drop the act. That's definitely not the reason them calls were made. Caffeinated Kitty was responding to your actions for taking down her video, which in my opinion, didn't deserve to be taken down, and yeah, she responded, which I don't really think is irrational. So yeah, it says the plaintiffs called a wellness check to Caffeinated Kitty, and then in the next line says, Caffeinated Kitty used her social media accounts to express her anger and resentment of plaintiff Jeanette Braun and her law firm. I wonder why. You called a wellness check on her for absolutely no reason, in my opinion. I think she has every right to express some anger, don't you? She then goes on to say that Caffeinated Kitty has accused Jeanette Braun of filing bad faith copyright takedowns, and that this video has now received 928,000 views, which, I mean, yeah, it's her opinion, and in fact, a lot of other people's opinions. You yourself have said that you've tried taking down 94 videos this year for people using TikToks under fair use. Okay, you didn't mention the fair use part yourself, I just added that, but I mean, that's what happened. And look, I'm just reading through right now, and I don't get why a lot of this information's even in here, right? She goes on to mention that Caffeinated Kitty made a GoFundMe page where she revealed Attorney Braun's name and identity by posting a portion of Attorney Braun's cease and desist letter. I mean, you're an attorney on social media, you have a website showing your name. Like, I don't get what your point is here. Also, you went out of your way to find personal information about Caffeinated Kitty to make that call in the first place. You seem to know a lot about her for someone you don't actually know. And then on top of that, maybe we should look at that cease and desist. I would love for a judge to see that cease and desist because it was mental. Just full of gaslighting, using her mental health against her. We did a whole video looking at it. It was genuinely disgusting. Mentioning prison time and whatnot, and like I said, I made a full video talking about it. It was stupid. But also, I've heard the word blackmail being used a lot in this situation, mainly from Jeanette Braun and Lauren The Mortician, right? They keep mentioning that these people are blackmailing them and whatnot. And in my opinion, again, not 100% fact, just my personal opinion, but the closest I have seen to anything being blackmail so far in this situation has been that cease and desist. Not just the fact that it was a cease and desist, I get that's the purpose of a cease and desist, but just the language that was used. It was genuinely disgusting. But now we get to the Becca Day part of the lawsuit, right? Let's see what Becca Day has done so wrong. So it starts off by saying the type of content that Becca Day posts and says that she makes money through these videos, and also says that she has been accused of posting false and untrue statements about public figures in the past, such as Diplo and other prominent social media personalities. I don't know anything about this personally, so I'm not going to voice my opinions on it because I don't know. And then it goes on to say that Becca Day made a video talking about what Caffeinated Kitty said in her video, which I guess is really bad. And then it also says that Braun files false copyright strikes and is unethical and is a rogue attorney. And it really does seem like Jeanette is going to die on this hill that the copyright strikes were not false, which is mental because literally just this week she was denied by YouTube and she was absolutely fuming about it. YouTube told her that the content that she was trying to strike was under fair use and she was raging. I mean, it was in one of my last videos. And look, I'm reading through this now. The vast majority of this section on Becca Day is just basically Jeanette Braun saying she's not very happy with the content that Becca Day was posting and her opinions on Jeanette Braun, which again is an opinion of a lot of people. It seems like the only people who don't really think that is Lauren The Mortician and Jeanette Braun herself. Obviously, not a fact, but that's the way it seems to me. But this next part goes on to talk about a separate situation with Jeanette Braun and a person called Caitlin Dempsey, also known as Demps. Now, I don't personally know anything about this situation. I can read through right now, but obviously I'm just taking Jeanette's word for it, which I definitely don't want to do. I would rather hear more about the situation from both sides. But yeah, I'll put it on screen right now. You can read through if you want to. Then his next section goes on to say that Becca Day posted a video saying that Jeanette Braun is kind of under investigation by the Attorney Registration and Disciplinary Commission. And basically, Jeanette says here that Becca Day would have no way of knowing this because the commission wouldn't tell Becca Day. And at this moment in time, Jeanette Braun is an attorney in good standing and has 0 misconduct violations on her record. And that's a section on Becca Day towards Jeanette Braun. But let's move on to the section on the Do We Know Them podcast, defamatory statements made by the defendants to Jeanette Braun. Something that's also worth noting that Jeanette Braun has said multiple times during this lawsuit, as she said on Becca Day as well, that the people she's talking about here have no training as a news reporter or a journalist or any degrees in those industries or related ones, trying to just ruin their credibility. And of course, that could definitely be true. I'd imagine it is true, but it doesn't mean they can't voice their opinions on a YouTube video. So, okay, right, this next line is brilliant, right? Line 85 here, it says, in the videos, defendant Jessie Smiles and defendant Lily Marston mocked attorney Braun by mispronouncing her name as Janet instead of Jeanette. I mean, fucking hell. Sue them for everything they're worth. If that's not defamation, then I don't know what is. Oh, we've also got another line here about them changing her name. She was clearly very angry about this. And she has said the reason why they changed her name, in their opinion, was because it was fun. But that they were still referring to attorney Braun. How dare they have fun? Disgraceful behavior. Okay, again, it's a lot of the same stuff, right? Saying that people are making videos stating that Jeanette Braun is filing false copyright takedowns of people's videos without showing any proof in her opinion. And then goes on to say that defendant Marston made further false accusations and referenced attorney Braun through a past client and accused her of actively committing perjury, and then shows a tweet that Lily Marston said. I've got to say, one of our biggest questions in all of this is, do we think Demps knows that her embarrassing excuse for a lawyer is using her name while actively committing perjury? Someone might want to tell her. Again, I don't know who this Demps is. I wish I did. We have the damage to reputation and harm to Braun Law and attorney Jeanette Braun here, and basically goes on to say, due to the statements made by the defendants, an angry internet mob was incited to further echo and spread the collective false statements that Miss Propson is transphobic, attorney Braun is unethical, attorney Braun files false copyright claims, and attorney Braun is a rogue attorney. And even says, due to these horrible false statements, attorney Braun lost a potential client due to fear of being harassed for using attorney Braun's legal services. I would love to know if that is the actual reason, or maybe they have seen what attorney Braun was actually like and decided not to go with it anymore, but I mean, what do I know? Okay, now we get to the section of defamation against defendant Caffeinated Kitty by plaintiff Lauren Propson, Lauren The Mortician. So it goes on to mention the stuff we've already spoke about with Caffeinated Kitty's video and showing like the Instagram post and whatnot, and Caffeinated Kitty saying her opinions on Lauren The Mortician liking that post, and says that this has damaged Lauren The Mortician's reputation, and because of this, she has lost a contract with a famous documentary channel. Oh, and a podcast deal that was in its final negotiations as well. Again, in my opinion, I feel like that has a lot to do with Lauren The Mortician's actions personally, but again, just an opinion. The fact that she showed it on screen allows people to make up their own opinion on what they're seeing, right? It's not like she just made up a fake post and then said, oh, this makes her this makes her that. It's not really what happened. So regardless of if you agree with Kitty's opinions in that video, surely you can acknowledge the fact she's being sued for this is mental. And again, it goes into more details of like the damage that's being caused because of this, and says that Caffeinated Kitty's defamatory statements were made with knowledge of their falsity and with a reckless disregard for the truth, so as to justify an award of punitive damages. Okay, so we have another section on the Do We Know Them podcast, which is basically just talking through the damages. Stuff we've already mentioned. I'll put it on screen right now, as we can see. Now, there is a lot more that we could read through here. It is just kind of going through the same stuff again, but just trying to sue them for different things other than defamation as well. But like I mentioned, this isn't a 100% accurate representation of the lawsuit itself, because I'm not going to go through line by line in this video. If you do want that, I would watch a different video like Madcatster's, or check out the lawsuit for yourself. But this next section is interesting because it says, wherefore, plaintiff respectfully requests the court to enter judgment in their favour and against the defendants, each of them jointly and severally as follows. Awarding plaintiff damages in amounts pertaining to each to be determined at trial, but not less than $75,000, including general, special, consequential, actual, and punitive damages. Awarding and accounting to plaintiff for the gains and profits of defendants arising from the unlawful conduct. Permanently enjoining defendants and their respective partners, agents, representatives, successors, assigns and employees, and any and all persons in active convert or participation with defendants, and each of their executors, administrators, successors, licensors, okay, right, I don't need to read all this fucking hell, but my brain is frying. A lot of words. That's all you need to know. A lot of words. Basically saying that any of the defendants and anyone associated with them, I guess, can no longer publish any statements that plaintiff Probson is transphobic, Attorney Braun is an unethical lawyer, Attorney Braun files false copyright claims, Attorney Braun is a rogue attorney, Attorney Braun commits perjury. I mean, it does seem like Jeanette is the one who was fuming the most about this situation, right? Because Lauren The Mortician isn't even mentioned that much in this lawsuit. It is a lot about Jeanette Braun herself. I can just imagine that she probably brought, like, Lauren The Mortician into it, convinced her that this was a good choice, so it would also add to the lawsuit. Again, that's just speculation based on no fact, but that's what it does seem like to me. She also wants to issue an order requiring defendant KC to retract, remove, and repudiate in full all defamatory and disparaging statements made regarding plaintiff Lauren Probson. Again, pretty much the same for the other defendants. And awarding plaintiff's attorney fees and costs, and granting plaintiff such other and further relief as the court deems just and proper. And yeah, there we have it. There is the lawsuit. I can't believe it's got to this point. Like, it really was never that deep. And the fact that this is what's happened here is mental to me. But again, I do just want to stress that this is not 100% accurate representation of the lawsuit. I didn't read line by line. I just picked points off and spoke about them and whatnot. So please make your own judgment up, right? Read it through yourself. Maybe watch a different video. I don't want you to think that this is the whole lawsuit in its entirety. There were just some points that relate to my previous videos and stuff that I thought would be interesting to mention in this. And oh yeah, also here's Bailey, by the way. People have been asking about him. I saw some people saying that they didn't think he even moved with me. I don't know where that rumor came from. You know what? To the people who commented that, I'm going to sue you for defamation. How dare you think I would just leave Bailey behind? But yeah, either way, I would love to know your opinions in the comment section down below on everything that we spoke about. Again, it's just mad that we even got to this point. But here we are. I would love to say I am actually surprised, but the more I've learned about Jeanette Braun, I'm actually really not. And yeah, like I said, I spoke to Madcatster. He thinks that this is going to go absolutely nowhere, and hopefully it doesn't, because it's stupid, right? And to me, personally, in my personal opinion, it does seem like it is just a way to try and intimidate the defendants and try and get them to stop speaking, which is a mental thing to do if that's the case. But yeah, like I said, would love to know your thoughts down below. If you did enjoy, please do a like down below, subscribe if you are new, and until the next one, I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, goodbye.